Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me once again for this week at Little Hills as we come to God's Word. It's been quite a week, hasn't it? It's been a week of a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of celebration, depending on how we approach politics. And then, of course, in the background, we continue to have the pandemic, which gives us so much uncertainty. I thought in the midst of that, it'd be really good for us to turn to Daniel chapter 2. As Daniel reflects on the one true king, our king, who's in charge in the midst of everything that we're uncertain about, everything that we fear, everything that we celebrate. Let's hear what Daniel says in chapter 2, verse 20. It says that Daniel said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, to whom belong wisdom and might. He changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him." God is the one who removes kings from their throne, leaders from their thrones, and places them there, and then does it again and again. We see over the span of history, kings have risen and fallen, presidents have come and gone, but God is always there, and we can always count on him. And so whatever you might be feeling about this election, whatever you felt about the previous election, know this: God is the one who is there. God is the one we can trust. And that's why when we think about what we closed out our last series on just before the election, thinking about God's call for us to pray for our leaders, it doesn't matter how we feel about those leaders, whether we're excited about them, whether we can't wait for the end of their term. We're always called to come before God in prayer, because God is the one who's going to give those leaders wisdom. God is the one who's going to empower them to do what is good. And God is the one who, in his divine wisdom, allows them to serve for a time. So as we go into this next week, let's think about how we can be praying for our leaders, both President Trump and President-elect Biden. Think about how we can honor them as those God is allowing to serve for a time, and pray that God would give them wisdom, because he is the source of wisdom. He's our source of wisdom too. He gives us each a purpose, not just leaders far off that we don't know, but he gives us each a calling. And that's what we're going to be thinking about this week on Steadfast. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as we begin a brand new series entitled Go. We're going to think about how Jesus gave the Great Commission to his disciples to go and make disciples of all nations. And what that says for you and for me today is those who are loved by God and who are called to show God's love to others. Like that plane that's going over my head is going someplace. We're each going someplace. And in that, we are called to be God's ambassadors, confident, because he is the one who gives wisdom and changes seasons and allows leaders to come and go. And that's the kind of hope we get to share. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow night as we think about that mission to share that hope that God has given us. I also hope that you'll consider coming on Thursday night if you're looking for a men's Bible study. We have a great group of guys. We've been going through Hebrews. We're in chapter 2, which is amazing and reassuring. It'd be great to see you there for that. I hope that if there's any way I can be praying for you this week, anything you are feeling burdened by, that you would feel free to shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you and pray before our God, the God who gives us wisdom and understanding, who brings light in the darkness with you. And if there's something that you'd like to have a whole group of people praying for, feel free to leave it in the comments. We can pray together. It's a wonderful opportunity. As we go into this week, please consider following Little Hills on social media so that you can stay up to date on the things that we're doing. And if there's any way I can be praying for you, I can't wait to hear from you and to join you in prayer. Have a wonderful and blessed week.